Everybody, welcome back to Unsolicited Bourbon Reviews, episode 57, and today we'll be reviewing Old Kirk, single barrel. So as an ode to number 57, I was trying to think of something a little creative, so I guess where my mind went was Heinz 57s. For anyone who's had Heinz 57, it's a steak sauce. It's got a million ingredients. No one really knows truly what's in it, and so the thing I had on the shelf that we'll say correlated the most with what the hell is in the bottle is this Old Kirk. So before we kind of taste it and talk about it, so this is bottled from Ep057 and Company out of San Francisco, California. Okay, so but it is distilled in Bardstown, Kentucky. So there's not a whole lot of information on this. Okay, so there's a lot of rumor. I know a few guys that are pretty close to the scene in terms of, bourbon and whiskey clubs here in the city. So Willett they bought a whole bunch of barrels here in Tennessee from a bunch of distilleries. And so, kind of what happened was, I guess it fell through, or what they produced kind of wasn't up to a Willett standard per se. So they went and sold this off, but they couldn't sell it under the Willett name. So this company, Ep057 and Company, they bought all the barrels. So this is barrel number 7100. This is bottle 87 of 189, and this is a 6 year, 6 month. And this is also a 126.4 proof, so high proof, because it's going to be single barrel. So, but yeah, so getting back to that, so this is this random company, bought the barrels. I don't know if this was an acquisition or it was an auction, but again, it was pretty exclusive to when it was sold to here in Tennessee. I think it eventually made its way around the country, but initially because the state of Tennessee had the rights to distill it, because a lot of it were sourced whiskey or sourced bourbon from here in Tennessee. We had first dibs on it. So again, this is kind of like a made-up company, Old Kirk, and it kind of gives a little bio of what Old Kirk is. But again, it's just not a whole lot of information on us, and rumor has it this is as close to a Willett Family Estate Purple label, which I've never had. I'm not really a Willett guy. I've had this before. I know Willett is kind of more of a rye offerings, and they got a whole bunch of different shell companies that are Willett distillate. We actually have a few of those. We'll get into it another time. But yeah, it's just, no one barrel is the same. They're super inconsistent across the board. I've heard great barrels and good bottles, and then heard this stuff was completely awful depending on where you got it. And I got this stuff, and we'll talk about it, and let's get right into it. So just a little bit different from what we've been reviewing lately, and but yeah, I haven't had this in a while, so I'm looking forward to giving another pour. Do you get a lot of cherry, kind of like a maraschino, like a cocktail cherry? You do get a little of that proof, 126 on there. It does have if you've had Willett before, it does have a distinct kind of rye smell and taste to it. So I'm getting a little bit of that, and I don't know if that's confirmation bias, for it being, allegedly sourced from Willett Distilling. But it does have a little bit of a Willett, kind of that rye smell on it, kind of a little bit of citrus, definitely some smoke on there, like oak smoke. Yeah, I mean, I can't really pick out some really major features on this. Maybe just me today, I'm kind of slipping, but we'll go ahead and taste it and talk about it and get the review. Get toffee, very heavy toffee. It's sweet. It does have a little bit kind of that cherry more, not necessarily medicinal cherry, like a cough medicine, but it's more of like a Luxardo old-fashioned cherry, which is really nice. Finish is really good. It kind of gets a little kind of that peppery, cinnamony, that rye, and then it kind of just evens out with that nice sweetness at the end. I think overall this is pretty good. So we'll go ahead and talk about price point. So this retail anywhere from $70 to $90 retail. Outside of market, this stuff was going for like $500. I think I paid like $75 for this. So price point, I'd give it a 7. Taste, I'd give it an 8. So we'll say this is a really solid 7.5. You can get your hands on it, but I think it's really unique, really different, and I'm glad we got to talk about it today. So appreciate it, guys. We'll talk soon.